Hi, welcome to How to D&D. My name is Fred Wheeler and today I have a guest, John Shackle, and we're going to do a review of Icons of the Realms Tomb of Annihilation miniatures.
Yay!
Okay, so what do we got first, John?
Alright, well we'll start off with number one in the set. The Red Cap.
Okay, so Mr. Red Cap looks like he's got a... is that a sickle?
Yep.
I think that is. And he's got a red cap. I haven't seen too many of these miniatures. Is this the first one that they've produced?
That I can remember, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen any more. Must be the first time I've ever seen one of these things. That's quite a cool miniature. I'd be happy with that. Alright, what have we got next?
Next is the local goblin population of Chaltn, famous for this season's, or box really, theme set. The Ferrari Goblin.
So what's special about the Ferrari Goblin?
You pile them all together and they fight as one group.
Oh, they stack?
Yeah, they stack. They have a special ability where they can stack on each other and attack as one. Yeah, it's fun.
It sounds crazy. I wonder who came up with that idea. It's pretty mad if you ask me.
Yeah.
Alright, what's next?
The Vegetarian Pygmy, or Veggie Pygmy for short.
Well, all vegetarian pygmy... veggie pygmies.
Yeah,
sorry,
veggie
pygmies. They should be vegetarian, right? I don't think they are. I think they're cannibalistic.
Yes.
Would that be right?
Most cannibalistic, yeah, I would say.
I think they are.
Most, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be eaten by your own vegetables. This one has arms and legs. Yeah, that's quite cool. Alright, what else?
Next.
Beware the what? Drop bear?
The drop bear. Believe it or not, it is a wet-soaked koala bear called a Zorbo.
A Zorbo, a wet... oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
I can't even imagine that. It, I mean, I know what we already talked a bit about the sculpting. I feel like so far the sculpting is not necessarily as great as I've seen before. The paintwork is definitely not as good.
No.
Your opinion?
I would say most of the paint job seems to be about average, but close-up detail, especially for some of the miniatures that you'll be seeing further along, could be a lot better.
Yep. Okay. Oh, I will make a final assessment. We haven't seen everything yet.
No. Rawr. Raptor!
That's a raptor.
That's raptor number one.
Raptor, no, excuse me, that raptor looks very small. That looks like a baby raptor. Could have gone to like a Chinese market, bought myself a raptor, well, a little dinosaur, and that would have been a better raptor if you ask me.
Yeah.
That's a baby raptor. That's very, very small. It's still cool, I just wish it was a bit bigger.
And you have raptor number two. And as you can see, you know, raptors always better when they're multiples.
That's a different colour. Is that exactly the same mould though?
Yes.
It is exactly the same mould.
Yes, it's exactly the same mould.
They just, same mould.
They're getting slightly lazy with this set, I've seen.
Oh, that is not good. Okay, they could have at least gone and spent a bit of effort and got a different mould for the other raptor. Well, what's the point? Okay, what do we got next, John?
Alright, next we have the Veggie Pygmy Chieftain, because, you know, someone's got to rule the Veggie Pygmies.
The Veggie Pygmy, these are the Veggie Pygmies who are likely to eat you. I like the Veggie Pygmies. I have never used a Veggie Pygmy before, but if I get an opportunity, I would definitely use a Veggie Pygmy in my game. And yeah, that's quite cool. I like the idea.
And next is Ferrari Goblin Chieftain, and the only difference between this and the other one is he has a bit of face paint. That's pretty much it.
Seriously? They just changed.
Seriously.
Oh, come on, guys, get on. So he stands at the top of the stack.
No, he's the one that stands behind everyone, telling them what to do.
Oh, okay.
And when they die, he runs away.
Oh, okay, so he doesn't stand in the stack because whoever stands in the stack dies first, right?
Usually. Brave Goblin Warriors.
So that's another one where they've just used exactly the same mould.
Yep.
Okay, what's the next one we got here, John?
Alright, you know, whenever I play a D&D game, I always think, damn, I wish I had a skeleton key. Guess what? We now have skeleton keys.
So that's a skeleton that has a key on the top of its head.
Yes.
That is just ridiculous. It's cool.
It's cool.
But it's ridiculous.
What crazy wizard thought of that? That's all I can say.
Okay.
Oh wait, I think we'll find out later on.
I haven't had a look at all of the skeleton keys, but I have noticed one thing about the skeleton keys, and that is I feel like the pose for all of them is almost completely identical apart from the key on the top of their head.
Yep, that's their defining feature, is the key part.
The key on top of their head, but the actual mould itself seems to be the same. And what have we got next?
Key number two.
Oh, this is key number two.
Yep.
It's like is that a diamond-like key?
Yes.
Yeah, it is too. I'll just make sure he's in the right place. Yeah, it is. It's got 2 knives, same pose, it's just the head that's different. So you're not going to get a huge variety in terms of moulds out of this particular set. Yeah, there it is. What's next?
And, keys always come in 3.
Do they? So, same mould, and it's got a rounder shed. Yep, nothing particularly special, and I wouldn't say the paint job's fantastic.
No, but it is a little better than some of the skeletons I've seen.
You can still use them as interchangeable as skeletons.
Oh, yes.
It doesn't have to be a skeleton key. Alright, what's next?
Next up is Khawaja.
Who the heck is Khawaja?
It's in the Tomb of Annihilation hardcover book, and that's all much I can tell you about.
Looks like some sort of druid, or a shaman, or just some jungle-dwelling individual. And he's doing the limbo. Looks like he's about to fall over, slightly bent. Hopefully his character's not bent as well.
I think it's a she, actually.
Is it a she?
Maybe a she.
Are you sure?
I'm not too sure.
I think it's a he. But
Alright, next up is a human druid.
a human druid? Are we sure that that's a human? Because I'm just thinking about the last miniature we just saw. That mould looks so similar. The only difference is what's on the end of the hand, that magical effect, which is kind of cool.
There is a little bit of differences with this one, but yes, no, I do agree that they do look very similar between the two of them.
It looks almost it's only the other arm that seems to be slightly different. Everything else seems pretty much exactly the same. So, yeah, and he's also got a bit of a lean.
Alright, next up, good old staple for the D&D, an orc.
Can't have too many orcs. Not a great paint job. And I've seen better orcs before. I've got a whole bunch of them, and I wouldn't say that's a fantastic one. Some of them, the detail is sort of lost a little bit.
Yeah.
Particularly in the face.
That's what we were saying before. The facial details seem to be severely lacking.
Yeah, it's a shame. It would have been nice to have, because when you buy a box set and you don't have anything at all, getting a whole bunch of orcs that are decent would be good.
Alright, but within saying that, we do have a slightly better decent orc as well.
Yep, that's an improvement. He's got the other one had an axe.
One had a sword.
Yeah, slightly improved face. Some of the details a little bit better, but not a huge difference, I would say. Maybe slight. I do feel like the theme in terms of how they're dressed is pretty much the same, though. I wouldn't say there's too much difference in that.
Well, when they're living in a jungle, they don't really want to be wearing too much. Alright, now for a bit of a difference, a Chaltn Zombie.
Chaltn Zombie. I like the idea of having more zombies. You can never have too many. As you know, I've used 400 on occasions. I don't quite get that. Is it supposed to be like a primitive individual who has been turned into a zombie? Probably that's what they're going for, right?
Well, pretty much from the lore that I remember, Chalt was overrun by lots of undead at times, and so it's slightly different. It might have some slightly better or worse abilities compared to a normal zombie. I can't really say for sure, I'm afraid. That would be giving away too much details.
Well, that would be. We wouldn't want to do too many spoilers here. But anyway, you can still use it as a zombie and can never have too many of them.
Now, this is one that I'm actually quite happy for. I have yet to see another miniature of these, and this is the Monodrone.
Modron, right?
Modron, yeah.
Yeah, the Modron race. This is my favourite out of the whole thing. It's definitely got to be the Modron, because I've never seen a miniature of a Modron until now.
This is the first time I've seen them as well, so I'm quite happy that we finally have them.
Yeah, and not only that, it's a sort of a miniature that I was really hoping it's a common, right? So
yes.
You're hoping that you're going to get quite a few out of a box or a brick or whatever. That doesn't seem to be the case, though.
Out of the 2 bricks that I opened, I only got a couple of those, and the other one, which we'll reveal a little later, is even harder to get, it seems.
See, this is a miniature. If I had one, I would try to figure out how to make more of them myself, out of wire and tin foil and putty or something.
Next, we have the Sioux Monster.
The Sioux Monster.
The first thing I thought about this was it's a chimpanzee, undead chimpanzee.
I suppose, yeah. Longer arms. Hairy legs.
Yeah.
A little bit like that. Yeah, it does seem a little bit like that. What does it... swing from trees, possibly.
Wow, I'd be a bit worried if that kind of fell on me.
Yeah, no, okay, alright. What else have we got?
Alright, now next we have a fire newt with a sword.
Now, I haven't seen a fire newt printed as a miniature ever. That'd be the first time for me.
I've seen fire salamanders, but yeah, not a fire newt, no.
And it's got a sword, which is kind of cool. Not a lot of really easily picked out detail. I feel like a lot of the detail is pretty simple. But still nice to have since there's never been one. This particular set does seem to be trying to fill in a lot of spaces that are been left.
Yes. And next we have a fire newt about to cast a fire spell. Ooh.
Okay, alright, so
Exactly the same.
Mould is the same,
Yep.
just casting magic and fire, which of course makes sense.
Yeah.
Fire newt casts fire. Yeah.
The only thing that can survive a self-centered fireball.
Right. Oh, I hope that's not the case. No, not at all.
Bad for the players, good for him.
Yeah.
Alright, next. Aldani. Looks like crab, tastes like people. Crab people, crab people.
It's a chull, right?
It's actually named Aldani.
Yeah, but it's a particular name of an NPC. I'm pretty sure it's a chull. It's one of those crab-like creatures in the Dungeon Master Guide.
I would think that too, but no, it's an actual subspecies of it, I would say, because it has its own little stat block in the Tomb of Annihilation.
Oh, okay. Alright, I didn't realise that. I honestly thought, because we've never seen a chull miniature, I haven't ever seen one. It'd be the first time, and it seems so close to what a chull is. That's quite cool. I love that miniature.
Alright, next is, great staple of any D&D, the plain old skeleton.
It has got almost exactly the same pose, it just doesn't have a skeleton key
On the head.
on the head. Yeah.
Now, there are two skeletons in the set. Unfortunately, we only have the one to show you.
Well, I
And
feel
the other one has
like
a sword. No,
Oh, well.
that one has a dagger.
I feel like that it wouldn't be too much of a difference.
No.
Considering the way they're repeating the sort of the molds and how things look. Okay, what's next?
Alright, this is what I was saying. Aldani, this one's got a trident and a net. So, I mean, if they've got two different ones, got to be a subset.
Well, I suppose that's true. Still, having more than one of these would be great, and I love this miniature. I think it's fantastic. It's a great miniature to have, just simply because you haven't seen one of them till just recently. Yeah, that's awesome. Alright, what's next?
Alright, next is Valandra Shadow Mantle.
Valandra?
Shadow Mantle. Now, if anyone knows or has played the Neverwinter PC game, they will know that that is the main protagonist, bad guy of that game, and now we have a miniature for her.
Well, it's not bad. What the heck is this thing that she's holding?
It's a special staff, but it's slightly bent. The heat, it warps wood.
Right, okay. Oh wait, what's next?
Another one. This one is the Duodrone.
Another Modron.
Yes.
Love them. This is, and I still feel like even if you couldn't get enough out of the set, that they wouldn't actually be that hard to make out of putty and wire, and just shape them up. It might not be quite as good as this one. This actually, in terms of its modelling, probably better than everything else I've seen in terms of its face, its features, the details.
Probably very well sought after miniature. That.
Yeah. And
that one took me. That one I actually had to trade off for something else because I could not find one. And out of the people I do know, that only one of them was opened, and that's quite a few people.
this is like a great replacement for dealing with kobolds or goblins, which you kind of get a bit old after a while.
But who wants to fight them? They're nice and peaceful.
Ah, yeah, sure.
Unless you're trying to do something else.
Yeah.
Alright, werebear. Where's the bear? There's the bear.
Has he got like a goatee? He does have a goatee. I'll turn that around a bit so people can see. He does have a goatee. He's carrying that's a great axe, correct?
Yep.
The fur detail isn't great. I feel like either the paint is really thick or the detail in the miniature isn't good enough. But yeah, what's next?
Werebear number 2.
Same pose, just a different weapon. So this time we've got a hammer.
Yep.
A really big hammer. It's hammer time. Yeah, don't do the little jiggy, man. Don't do the little jiggy. No jigging. Okay. Alright, okay, what's next?
Alright. Now, for those of the player classes, Tabaxi, and that's a Tabaxi minstrel or bard, depending on how you want to do it.
And it's got a little, is that a lute or
Yep.
some sort of, yeah, it's a little guitar of some kind of lute or something. That's a really nice miniature, I kind of like that a lot. And make a great NPC or a player character miniature.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Because there isn't that many Tabaxi miniatures out there.
I think maybe I've seen one other, that's it.
Yeah, from a very old set.
Very, very old set. And the facial features and the sculpt on this is actually pretty good. At least
Right.
the paint job.
Just in case you don't want to be a Tabaxi bard, you could be a Tabaxi rogue.
I feel like that dagger is being shoved either into their own throat or into their mouth. And looks like they're about to fall over. Is it quite exactly the same? No, it's not the same pose, so they've used a different sculpt for it,
Yeah.
which is something. That's an improvement. Repeated sculpts are always sort of a bit of a
I've always
letdown.
found that anything that is a player character based miniature, they tend to do a little bit more detail on, usually.
Yeah. Well, that's good, because they should. Anyway, next one.
Alright, next. Artis Climber. Or Simba.
Artist Simba?
Yeah, Artis Simba.
Artist Simba. Now that's not too bad. I don't know about necessarily the moulding, but the paint job for the face, you can actually see, you can see the moustache, the eyebrows, eyes, stuff like that. He's got himself a long bow. It's quite a nice miniature. I'd say I'd be reasonably happy with that. Kind of reminds me of the Robin Hood spoof movie.
Men in Tights.
Yeah, Men in Tights. Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, next up. Now this is going to be interesting if we can get this one in shot.
Yeah, it's in shot.
Sweet. Ashura.
Now, this is an Aarakocra, right?
Well, I would say it might be, but it's named as Ashura, so it could be an offshoot of an Aarakocra. It could be a jungle Aarakocra for all we know.
Or it could be a named Aarakocra.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it Aarakocra, or Aarakocra?
Depending which part of wherever you live.
Alright, based on accent and...
Potato, and all that stuff.
Potato, tomato, tomato.
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
Yuanti Broodguard. Because someone's got to look after the little baby Yuantis.
Yeah, that's right, they do. And it's a nice miniature, actually. I feel like you can see a reasonable amount of detail. The paint job is not fantastic, but it's good enough to do the job. And it's not a miniature we've seen before.
No.
So that's an improvement. You always like it when you get a set and there's a whole lot of things in there that you haven't seen before. That's always a good thing. Yeah, no, that's cool. Alright, what's next?
Alright, next up we have Ras Nasi.
What is Ras Nasi?
I would say maybe possibly some Yuanti style character. Because he has the definite lower half of the snake.
Yeah, which is quite cool. I like the sculpting of the bottom half. Is it got some sort of blindfold on?
Yes.
So it potentially doesn't have to actually see its target or anything around it to actually find its target.
Well, that's from the appearance of the miniature.
That sounds bad. Okay, right, what's next?
Next would be the Nothic, but it's so well hidden we cannot see it.
Oh man, I really was hoping to see a Nothic, because has there ever been a Nothic miniature till, I think there was a really long time ago. One Nothic came out, but I couldn't get hold of those anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright.
Oh look, D&D is now invaded by aliens.
That is a green man.
That is an Ultraloth.
With a long sword. It still looks like a green alien to me. Well, we haven't had one of these before. I guess that's something. What do you think?
I like it. I mean, it's an alien. What's not to like about aliens in D&D?
We are similar too, because the balding effect is starting to come in.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Alright. Nanny Popo. And that's my pronunciation. It's not the correct pronunciation. I'm not going to say the correct pronunciation.
Nanny Poo Poo. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, Nanny Poo Poo. Poo Poo. Love it. A character with a ridiculous name, which I can actually pronounce really well. I'm going to enjoy. This character is just waiting to be, what's the word? Poked fun at.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Lots of hilarity is going to come from this character. All right. See you later, Poo Poo.
Alright, next would be the Koltor. Again, sadly, don't have the miniature. Do apologise, people.
Okay, what do we got next?
Ooh, the big baddie of the set. Akarak! Dom dom dom!
He is pretty awesome. That lightning coming out of his hand, that staff, and the little see-through purple effect on top of the staff. It's a skull at the top of that staff, right?
Oh yeah.
And they've spent a little bit of time. They made sure it's a decent sculpt. It's awesome.
Yep, he is completely insane, and that is why he decided to stick keys on skeletons.
Well, he's also the one who's going to lure the players into to their death, right? Into his new dungeon.
Oh yeah. He likes to make a few dungeons every few centuries.
Yeah, his new dungeon, his new tomb. A tomb where you will probably stay for the rest of time. Okay, that is an awesome miniature. I'll turn it around one more time so people can have a look. This is obviously the key thing that people want.
Oh,
when
yeah.
they buy this set, they're hoping they're going to get this particular miniature, which means it's probably going to go for a fortune later on.
Between this and one other miniature, which is coming up very soon.
Okay, alright, let's have a look at that then.
Alright, do apologise, another miniature that we don't have, and believe it or not, his name was Dragonbait.
Dragonbait. I think Dragonbait is a character or NPC that I saw or interacted with in an old PC Dungeons and Dragons game.
Yes, he is a Dragonborn, that much we can tell you.
But I think his name, Dragonbait, was part of, was it the Azura Bonds video game?
Maybe.
A really long time ago. Really, really long time ago.
Alright, the one miniature I was actually looking forward to in this set, Minsk and Bull! He will kick the backside of evil!
So, is this Boo or Minsk?
That's Minsk and Boo. If you actually look very closely, you'll see a miniaturized space hamster on his shoulder.
Hang on. So the guy with the sword is Minsk.
Yes.
And that means that the hamster is Boo.
Yes.
And if you can just make out on the back, that little brown turd looking thing on his shoulder is supposed to be the hamster. That's the hamster. There's Boo. He's hanging out. What does Boo do?
He is a miniaturized space hamster. He is the faithful companion of Minsk.
Yeah, but what does he do?
That's as much as I can say.
Okay, alright.
If Minsk was here, he would be able to relay lots of tales about what Boo can do.
Alright, okay.
But it's a hamster to everyone else.
Right, okay, alright, we're moving on.
Alright, next up we have the bigger miniatures. Still uncommon though, but still they're beginning to be the big miniatures. And this is a Dio. A Dio.
A Dio?
Dio.
It's kind of like, is it like an evil genie or... I don't know, I mean I've only used them once or twice.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because you got Ifrits, you got Genies, you got Dios. All I can say is this is the wind variation of the four of them.
Oh, she's pretty cool, and that hammer is awesome. Certainly, I'd be worried about being hit by it. It's a very, very good miniature though. Alright, next.
Just in case you wanted a spellcasting Dio, there you go.
And what is that in the front?
Some spiritual rocks that she's going to throw at you.
Well, that makes sense, I guess. Throw something. Oh, okay, you can see there's a mixture of rocks and see-through magical whatever.
Yeah.
Binding it all together to make it more interesting, I suppose. That's quite cool. I like, even though it is the same mould and they've just changed the weapon and so forth, it's still a nice miniature. I like it.
Next up, the Marrow with a weapon.
Now the Marrow, we've had Marrows before. They've released them before. I've seen a couple of at least one miniature that was a Marrow, but this is probably the best Marrow I have seen yet. Simply because of the water effect at the back, and if you have a look at the sculpt's actually pretty detailed and pretty clean, eh?
Yep.
And the paint job, it's not fantastic, but the sculpting is definitely top class. I like it. It's good piece. Really, really nice. Okay, Right, what's next?
Alright, and in the theme of copying same molds, another Marrow, but this one's got a Trident.
Okay. Alright. Well, you can't have too many Marrows, right? That's the theory.
Yeah.
Same sort of mold, same sort of effect, just a different weapon. But still worth having, if you ask me. I still think it's a pretty awesome miniature.
Alright, next up, we have Kamadan, or famously called Medusa's Pet Panther.
Medusa's Pet Panther. This has actually got some fairly nice paint detail on it, that pattern. Its face, I feel like the mould of the face on this thing is a little bit weird. Did you notice that it's a little bit odd? It doesn't look like it's quite as clean as it could be.
No.
The little snakes are fine. You know, they're quite small, so you don't expect to get a lot of detail off that. Still a cool miniature, and we've never seen anything like it before.
No, this is a new miniature that I've seen.
Yeah.
Alright, and the last dinosaur in this set, Petrofolk, or Pterodactyl, or whatever else you want to feel like calling it.
Petrofolk. Petra something, right? Well, this would be the first one we've seen of this, right?
Yes.
I don't think we've ever had a sculpt of this particular monster.
No.
And what do you think? Is it? I feel like it's maybe just a tiny bit on the small side.
Well, it's supposed to be a medium creature, so I would say maybe yes and no.
But it's on a large base.
Yes. Well, you know, the wingspan makes it bigger.
Yeah, so I just don't understand. If it's going to be a medium-sized creature, why would you not put it on a medium-sized base? If it's large size, then it's on a large base, that's fine, but it's not actually that large. And it's not flying, it's a flying creature, and usually flying creatures, they put on like a stick or a stalk or some kind.
Well, this one's both land and air, so...
I suppose that's something. Yeah, okay. Yeah, right. Give you that.
Alright, this one's going to be interesting. A giant scorpion.
Now, this scorpion has just got just a plain black paint job. The detail on it, I feel like the paint is so thick that a lot of the detail's been lost. But then again, the last time we had a giant scorpion was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's quite a common monster to come across in dungeons and tombs and so forth. Either that, along with a whole bunch of a little smaller scorpions, like an insect or a swarm of some kind. Quite a nice miniature to have, but yeah, pretty simple paint job.
Alright, next up, the Mantrap. So women you're fine, it's just the men you got to worry about.
So this is basically a carnivorous plant, right?
Yep.
And kind of reminds me of Return of the Jedi and the Sarlacc pit.
I was thinking more of Audrey, Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, right, fair enough. Audrey, yes. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Feed me, Seymour.
Feed me. Alright, next.
They're showing our age there.
Okay.
Grillion? It's a monkey thing.
It's a white ape. I've got Grillion miniatures that are bigger than this, and I feel are probably better than this particular miniature. Yeah, they didn't have those little sort of pubescent arms on them. So I wouldn't say this is the best Grillion miniature, but we haven't seen one for a very long time, and you couldn't buy those Grillion miniatures that I have now.
No.
They'd be impossible to find. You just couldn't get them. But yeah, it's nice to have one. I believe there might be some undead Grillions in the Tomb of Annihilation.
Oh yeah. Next, Nikoloth. Just because, you know, why not have a demon? If we can't have dragons, we've got to have demons.
So Nikoloth is... Do you know much about Nikoloth?
You don't want to be meeting one of those in a dark alley.
Okay, well it's got a big weapon, but you don't know much about them. I've never used them before. It'd be the first time I've really sort of... I've seen the picture in the Dungeon Master, the Monster Manual, but I've never actually used them. I don't know an awful lot about them.
They're pain in the butts to fight. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay, alright, so
Don't give Fred ideas.
Don't give Fred ideas. Alright, thanks. I now have an idea.
Yes, and we have a Nikoloth with a big butty sword.
Look, both of those miniatures look like they're actually pretty well sculpted, eh?
Yep.
And the paint job is probably better than a lot of the other ones we've seen so far. That would be my opinion. What do you think?
No, I actually think that one's a bit better.
Yeah, probably one of the better miniatures in terms of sculpt and paint. Alright, okay. Nikoloth, you're on your way.
And we have the Marrowlith.
Now I've got one Marrowlith. It's very, very old. And I would say this is comparable to that, I would say it's not any worse or any better than the one that I've already got from an older set. So not a bad miniature, right? I feel like the paint that they're using is much thicker than the paints they've used before, because I feel like the detail's probably there, but the paint is hiding it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my impression. So I don't think necessarily you might, if you get the paint off and repaint them, you might find yourself with a pretty decent miniature. And the face on it, you can actually see the eyes and the mouth, and it's pretty clean. Not super job, but certainly better than some of the things we've seen so far.
Alright, next up is the Dragoloth.
So what the heck is a Dragoloth?
You know how the other one I would say you don't want to meet in a dark alley? This one you just don't want to meet at all.
Okay, so this thing is
a 4-armed demon.
A 4-armed demon. It's a really awesome miniature. Be an absolutely fun encounter to run.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I'm rather jealous. That's quite an awesome. That is a scary thing. I feel like it's sort of leaning forward maybe just a bit too much. I feel is it in the process of about to pounce.
Yes.
Oh, it's got huge hands.
Alright, next up would be the stone Juggernaut.
Oh, right, that's
yes,
that thing.
It's a big stone vehicle thing. Unfortunately, didn't have it, and I couldn't get it here in time to show you, which is a bit of a shame. I do apologise for that.
It's green too, eh?
Green and other things.
Other colours. Yeah, never mind.
We have a giant 4-armed...
What is it?
Giant 4-armed gargoyle.
That is probably the best gargoyle miniature I have seen, just because of its sheer stature. And yet again, I feel like the paint is so thick that a lot of the face detail has been lost. The paint job on it is not great. It's not very good at all, actually. Yeah, I feel like that grey paint has just hidden all the detail. But an awesome sculpt. I actually like it quite a lot. And I've got 2 older gargoyles, and they're alright, but they're certainly not quite as large as this. Yeah, awesome. Alright, that's that.
And what set wouldn't be complete with invisible creatures? Here we have the alien, Minskin Bull, Nanny Popo,
Poo-poo,
and Dragonbait. Here we go, we have a Dragonbait, hence we know it's a Dragonborn.
Right. I don't like invisible miniatures. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, but you can use them as ghosts. Somebody has said, look, don't throw them away, don't sell them. Use them as sort of transparent ghost-like monsters or NPCs. And it's actually a pretty good idea. I think that's probably the best use for them.
Yes.
Because, I mean, how often do people become invisible? It isn't actually that often that it happens.
Not really, no.
No, it's not a common thing. What is your total opinion of this particular set? I feel like it's got a whole lot of different miniatures that we haven't seen before, but there's a lot of repeats that really didn't need to be there. They could have not done that because they haven't changed the sculpt on some of these things. They haven't actually gone to the, I would say, the effort, done a decent job of the paint. The paint and some of the sculpts aren't fantastic. It's not really consistent. I probably wouldn't go and buy as many miniatures of this particular set compared to some of the other sets, just for the sake of getting a Serarak and Minskin Boo, and obviously my favourite, which is the Modron miniature. You know, if it was all only about that, I probably wouldn't bother to go and get more. And what's the other thing you want to get out of this set? You want to get something like the Undead Tyrannosaurus Rex that vomits up zombies, or dinosaurs. There's not really dinosaurs.
For a set that's supposed to be about dinosaurs, you really have a Raptor with a different paint job, and you have a Pterodactyl. You'd think, especially in the book, you have Triceratops, you have all the other dinosaurs. It seems a bit lacking on the dinosaurs front.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. And I would say that if you're going to go and buy these, then just bear that in mind, that it's not necessarily going to be the kind of quality paint job or moulding that you're expecting. But you can buy these from your game stores. Where is it? The Miniature Market online?
Yes, there's a whole bunch of online ones where you can get them from.
Yeah. And you can also get them obviously from Amazon, and I'm now an Amazon affiliate, so you can go down into the description and there's a link there, and you can buy them off that Amazon affiliate link if you wanted to.
Yeah, personally I do like this set. The paint job is a bit lackluster, but I mean, it has a lot of different things. Yes, there's a few repeats, but overall I do like this set.
Alright, we'll wrap it up there. So that's everything we have to say on the Tomb of Annihilation miniatures for Dungeons and Dragons. If you found this video helpful or informative, please share, like and subscribe. Thank you, John, for doing this with me.
Yay!
If you have any questions about the miniatures, please put it in the comments. Until next time, keep rolling those 20s.
And roll 20!